Okay, so this is a Facit NTK. I think they made these for a few years in the 50s before switching over to the C113. So this is kind of like their still the original design of the NTK. It's got the old school keyboard. I am missing, or not missing. This button is busted. I think I could probably fix it though. I really hope so because that's going to be hard to. I'm not great at CAD with like this shape is very curvy, and I'm not good at that. So I don't have to. Hope I don't have to 3D print a replacement, but it seems like it's jammed. I mean, honestly, it might just be so greasy in there that nothing's moving. Like this is very sticky. The main rotor spins, which is great. Um, I just cleared the. Oh, I thought I cleared the counter. Oh, okay, so it is working. The counter's working. That's good news. I just can't enter anything. I'm not sure if. I don't know. I mean, it's probably something with the rotor. It might be stuck. It's not able to shift. Wait. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I have to take this thing apart. This thing's pretty similar to the other Facet I worked on, the LX. The LX was a little more complicated with the movable carriage. So this looks like a pretty just bare bones Facet mechanism, but I'm really hoping I can get this thing looking decent because this is like a really nice case. Most of these are just like sheet metal stamped. This is the whole thing is cast. They really cared. I'm hoping I can get better at painting by the time I have to like touch this up because this is probably mostly going to be a cosmetic restoration more than anything else. Okay, so all I've done is just take the case off, which the little spring clips, you have to remove the levers on the sides, the clearing levers, the one for the accumulator and for the counter. And there are these little clips. They latch onto the bottom of the little through hole for the levers, so they're pretty hard to miss. Honestly, that wasn't very hard. But as soon as I took this off, I noticed that, I mean, this fell off, but there were quite a bit of these little cork or felt, I guess insulation, I don't know what these are called, liners. The liners are all missing except for this one that just fell off. And they're not inside here. So this is the first time I have taken apart a calculator that clearly someone has like done something with. At least they decided, hey, I'm going to remove this liner. I don't know how long ago that was. I mean, it might just be that this calculator is so easy to take the case off that somebody that owned it did that, but it's not working. So I'm hoping this wasn't something that someone tried to fix and then like really screwed it up and then just sold it on eBay, but we will see. Okay, I think I might have found the issue. I just wanted to show what it looks like before I fix it. There's a little, or it's not little, it's very large. The little clearing, the large clearing lever thing. So the rotor clearing lever on the outside is right here. And on the back, there's a large spring attached to this lever. It's basically spans the whole width of the machine. But this is supposed to be attached to the rotor. So I had forgotten that because when I pull the lever, it does clear, it pushes it over. But it also is supposed to be attached right there. So there's a little lug. Let's see if I can point that out. There's a lug right here. And on the clearing lever, there's a little hole. So the lug is just supposed to go in the hole. It's kind of hard to see. So I'm just going to try to reattach it, and hopefully that is all I need to do with this. So far, that seems to be the only functional issue left. It's just that I can't enter numbers because I have to hold the rotor to the left to basically like replace the spring. I'm going to reconnect that. Hopefully that's all that is. This must be some kind of metric thread I'm not familiar with. They say the metric system is more intuitive, but I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this one. All right, I think I was able to get this thing looking a lot better than it did, at least. all the paint is the same. I just touched up a few spots, but what I use to get the paint to kind of look a little bit, I guess, nicer is this Bow Shield stuff from the Boeing company. Um, Boeing, if it's not Boeing, I'm not going. This video is sponsored by Boeing. But I only have 12 views, so obviously not. But you know this is a genuine review because I'm not getting paid to say this. This stuff is really, I think this stuff is basically like what Hank Hill thinks WD-40 actually is. It really does make like a waxy coating that basically lasts forever. I went ahead and manufactured a replacement left shift button, and it looks, I think, pretty close. I gave up on the little, whatever this is called, curved divot thing on the side, but I think from far away it's pretty good. Couldn't really get this thing to be completely, I think, usable. I tried to match the paint on this. I was thinking about painting this, but I ended up just stripping all the paint off because it really was not taking very well. But the good news is I have these cameras, or all these lights that are really bright, and I can just like get them way close up in there, and then I can turn the brightness on my camera up, and then you can't tell at all. It's great. Okay, so I was able to get this shift knob removed, fixed, and reinstalled. I'm going to show how that works. We're going to try to ignore this really bad touch-up paint, though, so I'm gonna do that. There we go. But you can kind of see this seam on the knob where it's kind of jagged. I had to glue that. But before what was happening was that this little bottom piece was staying basically like attached up here, and this outer part of the knob would rotate, but that meant it was grinding against this like jagged like fracture line there. So to remove this, there's a little pin. It's like a plunger, and then there's a spring in here, and then there's a collar on the end. So if you push this out, you kind of have to push it out as far as you can to get to this, but there's a little pin in here, little roll pin, spring pin, whatever. Punch that out, this little donut collar will come off. You can remove the knob. And I had to do that to glue it. I had to bore it out a little bit more because it had become warped, this part, so it wasn't rotating freely. But I bored it out too much, a little too loose. But I think that's honestly better because what I'm used to with these is that if you don't pull the knob all the way out when you're like doing a bunch of operations over and over, this will catch on the little metal thing right there, and that gets really annoying. So now it's a little easier, and I can do this without it getting ground up on there so much. It still does, obviously, but I'm gonna take it. Okay, so operating this is very simple. It's like this is really truly just the simplest facet mechanism. Um, it has a hand crank, so that's really just the only difference. I think I've done a couple facet videos. Facet has a lot of manuals available online that are translated into English. They all have this really off-putting elf as the little mascot dude, but 1, 2, 3 addition, it will count, add it to the accumulator. You do have to clear the input with this lever anytime you want to change the number in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, 6 plus 7, 8, 9 plus 9, 8, 7 plus 6, 5, 4 plus 3, 2, 1 is 3330. Another classic one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 times 45. In this case, it starts on the ones and then goes to the tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a bunch of fives. Division on this, I am bad at this. I am sorry. I'm going to try to do a really fast one, like 625 divided by 25. So 625, you have to press this button to move it all the way to the left. Add that in, clear the accumulator, or sorry, the counter, divided by 25. Now I gotta go in reverse. Ring a bell. I'm gonna just go ahead and do the normal division where you do that. Okay. There it is. 625 divided by 25 is 25. And this thing has a little indicator here to show that you're in division or, I guess, yeah, division or regular addition, subtraction, multiplication mode. And all that does is reverse the counter. So in division, when you subtract, it adds. When you add, it subtracts from the counter. In normal mode, I'm just going to call it, it will add when you add and subtract when you subtract. All right, so last thing I'm going to say about this, just to put this in some historical context, this calculator was made 20 years after this one. So this was in the mid 50s, this was in the mid 70s. And both of these, I guess neither of them were like the most state of the art, most featured calculator out there at the time. So I think that makes this kind of an okay comparison. But in terms of using them, let's say I wanted to do the same division, 625 divided by 25 on this thing. 625 divided by 25 equals 25. The speed at which you can do this and the size of this thing, obviously, anyone who grew up using these, as soon as this came out, would have been like, oh man, this is 99 times faster, easier. But I think that now we've kind of gone full circle because at this point, all calculators are obsolete, including this one, including this one. So I think it's cool that I don't have to compare these things based off their functionality anymore, because if you really needed to do this, you just use a computer, or the phone on your calculator is more whatever. Like, why would you ever use this? And I think the cool thing is that there was something that happened between when they made this and when they made this that's just really sad. You know, like this. Here's a good observation. Look at these buttons. You know, like if I was a baby, I would probably try to eat those buttons. They look really delicious. And then now we're gonna look at these buttons. Like this is just really sad and plastic and mushy. You know, you use this and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get the math done faster, but it's gonna make me really sad. You know, like what is that? And we got these teeny tiny little LED screen in here. Versus with this, we have the most pronounced haptic feedback of anything. People that are really into mechanical keyboards because of all how nice they feel, try a mechanical calculator. This thing, it just takes, I mean, like the amount of feedback you get from doing anything on this. The fact that you're not just touching, you're not even touching plastic. I mean, this is whatever, rosin, but this is chrome. This is actual chrome plated steel. It's not like painted on. It's not whatever, something that's made to look like fake chrome. That's real chrome. You know, everything about this was just made, you know, I don't know. I think that at this point, it's at some point, calculators in general, mechanical calculators, all they really function for nowadays is something that's maybe kind of more convenient or easy for me to reach over and do something on this thing than it is to pull up some type of a math program on my computer. If I'm going to do a financial calculation with a bunch of numbers, I'm going to use a spreadsheet. I'm not going to use this. You know, I'm not going to use this, obviously. But if I just need to do a couple little numbers, kind of more convenient to do this sometimes. It's definitely a lot more satisfying. It's good. It's cool to look at. You know, these things, they look cool. I don't think anyone's ever gonna have one of these displayed like, oh, look at this really cool thing. I mean, like it's entirely made of plastic. I mean, I wish I had the user manual for this, but like even looking at the user manual for this versus, I don't know if you ever read a TI user manual, but it's like they really just try to suck the soul out of everything. I don't know who designed this. It's probably some committee of bean counters over at TI that were trying to make this look as, I don't know, futuristic as possible back in the 70s. But this was designed, the casing was designed by a member of the Swedish royal family. apparently, on this. Like this, they really, I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about this thing. I think it looks cool. I don't think I would really want to use this for more than a couple of calculations because it's a hand crank machine. But definitely looks cool. Will probably still work in 100 years. This will probably be recycled into plastic bottles by then because no one's ever going to want to like save this thing from getting thrown in the dump.